Welcome back everyone to our third tutorial for Microsoft Excel for beginners. Um, in this tutorial I'm going to solve our homework assignment from last time, and at the same time I'll be teaching some new techniques about using multiple cell ranges inside a single formula. That'll be a very important thing to learn moving forward with your Excel knowledge. If you remember correctly, I said create 3 groups with each group containing 10 students and their scores. I've gone ahead and set up my 3 groups. I've also applied some formatting to my text to make things stand out a little better. Hopefully you did the same as well. I'd ask you to determine the sum and the averages of each group, and then determine the grand total and the grand average of the whole class. So let's solve this homework. Using the knowledge that we gained in tutorial 2, I'm going to use the sum function, open parentheses, and drag across my 10 scores, close parentheses, enter. There's our total. Now, I could repeat the process for this group as well as this group, but I'm going to show you a quicker technique. I'm going to copy this formula here, and I'm going to paste it in cell E13, and watch what happens. Notice that our number is different than in column B. Why is that? You would think it would be the same since we copied from B. The reason is that the cell references in Excel are always relative to the formula's location. In other words, the formula here in cell B13 says, I want to add up the 10 numbers directly above me. So when you copy that formula to a new cell location, the relativity stays the same. It says, okay, well, I'm going to add these 10 cells directly above me. So that's what it does. If you press the F2 key, you'll see that our range is what it should be, E3 through E12. So I can copy this this formula here again over to column H, and again, because of cell reference relativity, it says I'm going to summarize the 10 cells directly above me. So that's a real quick way to copy formulas across your spreadsheet, as long as the relativity of each stays the same. And we'll talk about the opposite of that, which is absolute cell references, in a later tutorial, because that too is important. So now let's determine average. If you remember correctly, we use the average built-in function, average, open parentheses, and I'll drag across my 10 scores here, close parentheses, enter. And just what we've learned, I can now copy this and I can paste it in here as well as here. And we got our 3 different averages across our 3 groups. Now let's move on to our grand total. How can we summarize this? Well, I'm going to show you one method. You could say equals sum, open parentheses, and then I could drag across this entire area, and for the most part that would work. But that's kind of sloppy formula building is what I call that, because what we've done is we've included labels inside our range, and if something got changed or something got numbered here, like in column F, like a number got added accidentally, that would change our total. So that's not a very clean formula. I'm going to show you a better way. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to say equals sum, and I'm going to actually go down here to our G1 total and select that one, because this one's already done the work for us for group 1, hasn't it? So now, instead of dragging across, I'm going to put a comma, and now I can enter my second number, which is the total of group 2. Again, I can put a comma and select group 3 and close parentheses, and now I have a much cleaner formula. Now moving on to the grand average. I could apply the same technique as I did to the grand total and use these, but that's not good math. You should never take an average of averages. So how would we determine the grand average? Well, we're going to use what we call multiple ranges in a single formula. So I'm going to say equals average, if I can spell right, average open parentheses, and again I'm going to drag across the raw scores of group 1, let go of my mouse, press the comma key. Now I'll go to group 2 and do the same thing, let go of the mouse, comma, and the last group. Then I'll close the parentheses and I'll press enter. So there is an example, and you can see it up here. This is an example of what we call a multi-range formula. When you press the F2 key, by the way, you can see the cell references that we're pointing to. Excel does a very good job of pointing out what a formula points to. We got a blue square here, the green square here, and the purple square. This is what we call a multi-range formula, and that plays a very important role in Excel as you increase your knowledge. Well, that's it for today. I've kind of run out of time. No homework for tonight. We'll assign some more homework in the next tutorial. That's it for now. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.